It's essential for the way I'm farming. Having the diversity in plants and livestock and all these different things is what holds this dynamic system together. I don't farm with toxic chemicals or synthetic fertilizers anymore. And if I was growing monocultures, purely monocultures on my farm, I wouldn't be able to do it. It started off with our cover crops. We went from a monoculture cover crop and brought in lots of diversity there, saw lots of success there in a very short time. The very first potato crop I grew after that diverse cover crop was probably the biggest leap forward we ever took in one season. The crop improved greatly. We were able to greatly reduce our inputs. So after that, I started thinking about diversity everywhere else. I still had a monoculture in our potato crop. So I wanted to bring diversity in on that side. So I started, first thing I brought in was field peas, and I just planted peas out in the potatoes. It made a lot of sense based off what I saw in the cover crops. You know, we had a legume out there, so adding nitrogen. I thought instead of just relying on the rotation year to add nitrogen through legumes, why not do it during the cash crop? So we brought in field peas. The biggest challenge was just figuring out how to integrate the two crops together. Was able to figure that part out, and then it was like, all right, what else can I bring in? So from there, the next thing I brought in was chickling vetch, then Desi chickpea. And so I had more legumes out there. So diversity even within that diversity.
Right.
And then I started thinking about beneficial insects. I wanted more flowering crops out there. So then I brought buckwheat in as a companion. And then the next one was faba bean, which was nice because it was a kind of a combination of both. Good nitrogen fixation because it was a legume, but it's also great for supporting the beneficial insect populations. And then the last thing I did is I started bringing in real diverse flowering strips that we plant right in the middle of the field and as buffers all the way around. So having diversity in the plant populations brings in diversity in insect populations, which helps me control my aphid populations, which is a major threat for us. Grazing cover crops, there's lots of guys doing that. The flowering strips, a lot of guys doing that, but I have not been able to find anybody else doing the companion crop in the potatoes. So I think that's really one thing that separates us from what a lot of the other operations do. I think that makes us really unique, is having the companions in the potatoes. And then the last thing after that is we started bringing in livestock. And so we adjusted our cover crop mix a little bit to where it was good for cattle to come in. And so that's even more diversity because now we're bringing another living component in. Their manure gets added to the soil. That supports even more diversity in the microbes in the soil as well. So diversity just keeps coming over and over again. And the more you build on it, the more it supports itself.